Okay, so we are on the second part of the unit, which is looking at intercepts and slope. So what are intercepts? Well, you have your x-axis and your y-axis. So your x-intercept is where your line hits on the x-axis, and your y-intercept is where it hits on the y-axis. So where are those points? For the x-intercept, your y will always be 0, and for the y-intercept, your x will always be 0. So you can see here the x is at negative 250, 0, and the y is at 0, 100. So that's by looking at the graph, which is very simple. When doing it with an equation, it's a little more trickier for students, but remember, for your y-intercept, your x is always 0. For your x-intercept, your y is always 0. So if I plugged in a 0 for x, I would get negative 32. This is also in slope-intercept form. Maybe you've heard of that before. It's when the slope comes first and then the y-intercept is here. But now, if I wanted to solve for my x-intercept, I would have to plug in a 0 for y and solve for x. And you should already know how to solve equations. You should always know how to solve equations before doing graphing. It was in previous units. And so, yeah, this part should not be new. So I get x is 3.2. So my x-intercept is 3.2. My y-intercept is negative 32. So you can just plug in 0 and solve for the other. So slope is the distance from point to point. You can find slope by looking at a graph, by looking at 2 points, by looking at an equation, by looking at a table. So like I said, slope is the distance from point to point. So first, see where the points are. And they are here. Slope is the change of y over the change of x. Sometimes you'll see this little triangle. It means the change of y over the change of x. So y is up and down. So this goes down 1, which is negative 1, right 2. Sometimes students, they get confused which direction to go, what comes first. You go up and down first and always move to the right. You should always move to the right when you're looking at linear graphs. So here we find the points. Up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. So you can see the last one was a negative slope. This one's a positive slope, right? When moving left to right, it goes up. Same thing with this one. When moving left to right, it goes up. This one goes up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Remember, if you don't know how to do something, they'll show you how to do it. So finding slope from graph can be simple, but sometimes students struggle finding the points. So just practice with that. For this, it's simple. It's the change of y. So 7 minus negative 2 over the change of x. Negative 6 minus negative 7. Make sure you know how to do integers. You're going to get 9 over 1, which is 9. That's the slope. And same thing here. If you get something wrong, they'll show you how to do it. Show you how to set it up. But make sure you just have the slope formula down. Slope is equal to the change of y over the change of x. So you want to minus your second y coordinate, your first y coordinate from the second, and then your first x coordinate from the second. Right? And if you set it up incorrectly, like I said, they'll show you how to do it. So that's finding slope from 2 points. And now slope from an equation, the easiest one. Oh, but these need to be rearranged, so never mind. So slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. This is not in that format, so I need to get that in this format. So I'm going to add 3x. So I have this here. I need to just rearrange this and put this in slope-intercept form. And you should know how to rearrange equations from solving equations. You move stuff around the same way. So here I'm going to add 3x to the other side. I now have 5y equals 5x plus 3y. And now I'm going to minus 3y to the left because I want the y's over here and then the x and then my x-intercept. But there's no x-intercept for this one. And now I'm going to divide both sides by 2 because I want to get the y by itself. So I have y equals 5 over 2x. So what's my slope? 5 over 2. I had to put it in slope-intercept form first. Same thing. You don't know how to rearrange the equations. Look at how they do it step by step. Lots of students struggle with rearranging equations. It takes practice. It takes practice and seeing what you're doing wrong. Okay, so here, I want to get the x on the other side, and then I'm going to divide everything by 3 because I want to get the y by itself. I get y equals negative 1/3 x plus 10/3. So y is negative 1/3. That's, slope is negative 1/3. So for those, you have to rearrange the equation in slope-intercept form. And that's pretty much the second part of the unit. Being that this is 8th grade math, solving equations and graphing should not be new to you, right? I'm sure you've probably seen this stuff before. It might just be a little trickier. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions, and good luck.